Good evening, vinyl community. Hello again. It's Rob back. I'm here for another video, catching up with my record finds over the last couple of months or so, as I've been sadly remiss, as I'm sure you're all aware, with not doing my regular videos. I've obviously had some personal issues to deal with. Those issues are still ongoing, albeit that they're a little bit under better management, let's say, at the moment. So yeah, not too bad really. But anyway, so yeah, enough about my problems. You don't want to hear that. Yeah, so here for the vinyl, of course. Yeah, obviously I've got a lot to catch up on, hence these series of videos to try and remedy that. So yeah, I've got about 10 here to show. I'm going to rattle through them fairly quickly because it's quite late, and you don't want to listen to me rattling on for more than 20 minutes. If it goes to half an hour, then click, it will probably cut off anyway. So I'll obviously spare the agonies of my extended prattling, as it were. So, okay. So yeah, these are the usual mixture of online and used finds. And also some pickups from Ben, of course. So yeah, let's get into it. In no particular order. Okay, so starting off, lovely RSD reissue here on Sunbeam Records. This is Jonas. Okay, this is a lovely folk record. Jonas, yeah, contemporary of sort of Bert Jansch, Roy Harper et al. From the sort of mid-60s, that kind of Leg Cousins club folk scene, London. Yeah, very original guitar player, quite bluesy, folky, bit of everything thrown in, kind of David Graham-esque, I guess, you could say, but then you could apply that to any of that era of folk guitarist. But this is, yeah, this is wonderful. This is a stereo reissue with a flip back cover, which is always nice to give it that kind of original authenticity. Nice picture of Wiz there. What's the label there? And nice little insert there. Wiz Jonas Records. I think that was a little promotional thing from the time when this came out in 1969. Lovely picture there. Nice insert. Yeah, great write-up here from Richard Morton Jack, written in January of last year. So giving you a little bit of a biopic of his life story, which is always welcome and nice to have on these reissues. So yeah, really well done. And particularly for the first two songs on that record, very worth picking up. But it's all good anyway. And in addition to the vinyl, they also included a CD copy as well, which is nice. So you don't have to wear out the wax. You can sort of, stick on the CD if you can't be asked to pop the vinyl on. Okay, so moving on. I do apologise in advance, by the way, if I've already shown any of these, but it's been a while, so please don't roast me in the comments if you've seen me show any of these before. I'm fairly sure that I haven't, but there is always that chance that there may be some repeats here. So, okay, this was a new issue that came out last year that I saw Jonas in Sweden show. This is Morricone Segreto. So Ennio Morricone. This is a compilation of his non-film soundtrack works. So this was kind of studio works that were non-commissioned pieces. Some of them were for television shows, but none of them film scores as far as I know. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but yeah, the kind of the strapline here is the hidden, dark tinged and psychedelic side of the maestro, and yeah, that's certainly true of this. There is a kind of dark undertone running through a lot of the tracks on this, which give it a real atmosphere, and obviously the fact that it's 4 sides as well gives you plenty to indulge in. And I thoroughly enjoyed this. I love Morricone anyway. So yeah, this was a bit of a no-brainer to pick up. So nicely came in some polyline black sleeves as well, which is always nice. Don't think there was any other inserts or anything like that, but I'll show the gatefold. Picture of the man himself there, and yeah, really enjoyed this. So worth picking up. I think this was about, I think it was just under 20 quid. So really good value for money, and well worth picking up and checking out, certainly. Okay, moving on. Next two are a couple of Brazilian classics. This one, a Tropicalia classic that I absolutely adore, and was absolutely delighted to pick this up. This is a classic of the Tropicalia era. I don't think, well, I certainly think that the originals are extremely rare and very difficult to pick up. I've certainly never seen one. This was a copy that I got off Amazon for quite a reasonable price. And this is Gal Koster. So yeah, the Tropicalia artist from the late 60s to Tropicalia movement. Absolutely love this record. 1969. Yeah, wonderful vocalist, and just an incredibly eclectic mix of Brazilian sort of traditional samba bossa nova with yeah, just that's kind of psychedelic West Coast kind of influence as well, sort of Beatlesy elements, of course. Yeah, it's just a melting pot of wonderfulness, basically. Absolutely love this music, and yeah, I just, this is just essential as far as I'm concerned. Wonderful. So you've got songs here written from obviously Caetano Veloso, and yeah, Gilberto Gil, yeah, I think Georgie Ben as well. Georgie Ben writes a couple of songs on here too. Yeah, and it's just fabulous, absolutely wonderful. This is actually a Japanese pressing, and came with this obi strip. Yeah, I ordered it from Amazon. I think it was about 25 quid. But yeah, it's, you know, it just sounds as you'd expect from these kind of pressings, absolutely fantastic. You know, for me, it's the music first, and then if you get a decent pressing of it, it's a kind of a bonus. But yeah, double whammy. So happy on both counts with this one. Really, really wonderful. Okay, a little bit later, but another Brazilian artist. This is one of these records that I'd read about. There was an absolute sort of classic. Originals are incredibly rare and go for huge amounts of money. Ben hugely recommended that I listen to this, and yeah, I took him up on the recommendation, and yeah, immediately ordered a copy from Amazon. So this is Arthurvarakai or Verakai. I'm not quite sure how it's pronounced. This is a 1971 album, and this is his, I believe it's his debut record. But yeah, I mean, without kind of going over the top, this is absolutely sublime. Fantastic record. Just the sheer songwriting brilliance on here. I mean, it's all sung in Portuguese, but it doesn't matter. It's the same with with Gal Costa. It doesn't matter that there's the Portuguese language, and that I really don't understand what they're singing about. For me, the music kind of transcends that. It just makes it kind of universal, and in a way, I prefer it that I don't know what they're singing about, because maybe if I did, it would kind of spoil the illusion, or the I don't know, you know. I mean, there are obviously you can get these translated. It's not difficult to do on Google or YouTube or whatever, you know. But I just you know, it doesn't matter to me. That the music speaks for itself and just comes through and just takes you places, and that's what you want in a really good record, to just immerse yourself in it. I mean, this is barely sort of 30 minutes in length, but yeah, the ride is just incredible. Amazing musicianship, and beautiful vocals. Yeah, sort of jazzy, psychedelic, soul-y, funky in places. It's just got a bit of everything. Absolutely wonderful. Highly recommend that. Okay, on to another sublime record. What I guess you would call a modern classic. This is Raising Sand. Robert Plant and Alison Krauss. Yeah, I'm sure everybody out there either has a copy or is aware of this. I've been listening to this album for years, but I've never picked up a copy either on CD or vinyl until quite recently. But yeah, what a great album this is. Some people have criticized it, calling it just like another country album, but that's really doing it a massive disservice. Yeah, Alison Krauss is obviously a big American country star of that genre, but certainly Robert Plant comes from you know, quite a different background, and the fact that these two can kind of collaborated in the way that they did to make this a really unique sounding record, to be perfectly honest. I mean, they're all covers, you know, but they're just wonderful. They've just made them their own. I mean, I'm never a big fan of covers records, particularly unless they're giving something really unique or different, putting a different spin on it. Brian Ferry managed to do that. You know, Dylan has done that, as other people have obviously done his as well, you know, and put a different spin on it. But yeah, these guys just had a real chemistry on this record, and there just really isn't a bad moment. I was trying to wrap my brains the other day and trying to think of something negative that I could say about this record, but I really can't. You know, I mean, it's just wonderful. You know, Robert Plant, who normally has such incendiary vocal style, you know, with Zeppelin and so on, and he really reins it in here. You know, and uses his voice very economically and emotionally. As does Alison. You know, they do some solo, some joint ones where they're singing together. But yeah, I mean, you know, Please Read the Letter, Polly Come Home, just beautiful. Gone, 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 Done, Moved On. Wonderful Everly, a Boolean version of the wonderful Everly Brothers song there. Fantastic album. This is pressed on double vinyl, a kind of silver grey marble. Yeah, really pleased to get this. I wished I hadn't have prevaricated so much, and I'd picked this up a long time ago, to be honest. So yeah, excellent stuff. Okay, going back in time now. A couple of few second-hand ones here. This is a Steve Hillage album that I'd heard lots and lots, but I've never owned it. Picked this up quite cheap. This is Steve Hillage and Fish Rising. So this is his debut album on the wonderful Virgin label there. And yeah, this is a great record. Highlight for me is definitely the Salmon song, but Solo Music Suite, which takes up a good portion of the first side, is excellent. You know what you get with Steve Hillage, don't you? You know, sort of hippie extended kind of lyrics and extended jams and so on. But yeah, he just makes it really work, and he's got a very original guitar style as well, and vocal, and yeah, really enjoyable. Always very upbeat as well. Kind of always has a really kind of positive vibe with his music, which is always nice. Yeah, nice one. Okay, very pleased to pick this one up at last. Been looking for this one for years. This is Roy Harper's 1974 studio album, Valentine. So this is a original UK copy, courtesy of a guy called Tommy, who I assume owned it originally. So thank you, Tommy. Yeah, I spent a good few years looking for a decent copy of this record. This is all right. A little bit tied on the sleeve. No booklet with the lyrics, which you could send off for, unfortunately, but always on the lookout for that, and we'll hopefully pick up one of those one of these days. So that's the original Harvest label. And yeah, I mean, as everybody knows, I'm a huge Roy Harper fan. I don't, there's very little of what he's done that I've really not liked. This is just wonderful. It was released on Valentine's Day 1974. Just put the album down there. Valentine's Day 1974, hence the title. and it was slated to be an album of kind of love songs, and some of them are. Some of them are sort of Roy's usual kind of diatribes and yeah, just kind of political observations and so on. But yeah, I mean, just there's not a really bad moment on this record. Mel Chauvinist Blues with the wonderful band consisting of Ronnie Lane, Keith Moon on drums, like a little mini super group who did actually tour with Roy in this year. And yeah, wonderful production by Peter Jenner as always. Superb. Yeah, really, really happy to get that. Okay, a couple of Windham Hill titles now. That Ben actually got 2 copies of this. He teased me actually because he said he got one, and because I kind of turned him on to Windham Hill, he decided that whenever he gets Windham Hill records now, he's kind of torn between selling them and keeping them for himself. But he did actually luckily get a second copy of this in, I think, within a couple of weeks. So I luckily managed to land one of these. This is the Windham Hill founder, William Ackerman. And this is his album, It Takes a Year. Windham Hill Records, lovely, lovely. Yeah, I really like these records. They're very kind of soporific, mellow, usually solo guitar, or they're very stripped performances. William Ackerman's a superb guitar player, and yeah, just has a real kind of gentle, wistful way about his playing. That's a joy to listen to. Highlight is definitely the first track, The Bricklayer's Beautiful Daughter. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful song. And yeah, I mean, interestingly, this came out in 1977, but according to some of the tracks, these were recorded at all different times throughout the 70s. So some are from 75, some from 1973. Well predating the label, before he actually set up the label itself, which he did actually end up selling in the end, I think, to, I don't know, Sony, I think it was, or not quite sure, but yeah, very nice record and very inexpensive. Okay, this is his cousin. So this is William Ackerman's cousin. This is Alex de Grassi, and this is his 1981, I think this is, work. This is Clockwork. So another Windham Hill. Direct metal mastered. Yeah, sounds pretty good. Yeah, another more solo kind of guitar, a little bit more kind of jazzy, I guess, sort of jazz infused. Yeah, it's not bad. Not as good as Southern Exposure, which is the one that I'm always on the lookout for, which I think came out later than this. I think that one came out about 1983, 84, something like that. But yeah, this is still decent. And yeah, very pleasant listen. Yeah, and okay, to end with another reissue, absolute classic, this one. Nothing really to be said about this. This is Mighty Baby. So this is a reissue of their 1969 debut. So yeah, this is kind of prog psych, kind of classic, I guess, of the genre, UK. And yeah, originals go for silly money, thousands, even if you're lucky enough to see one. So another one with that kind of citadel kind of cover, a bit similar to Brazil Machine and Welcome to the Citadel, that kind of style of the time, the artwork. But yeah, I mean, wonderful record. I love the opener, Egyptian Tomb. It's probably my favorite track on this. But yeah, I mean, there's not really a bad track on this. It's all pretty good. Nice reproduction of the cover there on the label. And yeah, it was fairly inexpensive and worth picking up. So that's it, guys. That's my attempt to make my first foray into my catch-up. So I'll hopefully be making another one of these over the next sort of couple of days or so, life depending, because you never know what's gonna happen, particularly in my life recently. So, but there you go. So yeah, I hope you've all had a great weekend and you've got a great week coming up. And we'll speak again very soon. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.